So if you're in your early stages, like we are, you might be asking some questions to yourself. And we had some offline discussions. I've met new friends here today. Questions come up like, how should we organize around this? Is this a COE? Is this a federated model? Do I have power users? How do I enable business people to do their own bots? How can I ensure that my automation program is successful? What are some things that I might need to be aware of, and how could I navigate those early? And then how does automation impact the work that my people are doing? So hopefully I'll be able to answer some of those questions and how we're thinking about them. Let me start by talking about how we're organizing around this. So at HPE, we have pretty big global functions. And those functions can operate with quite a bit of autonomy. So I sit in global operations to your left as part of sales ops. And so that is a global function, and we've got our own tools, our own processes, and such. So a peer organization might be global finance. So my boss's peer would run finance, and they can operate with autonomy as well. HR, different functions, et cetera, right? A lot of autonomy. And so it's kind of hard to ring fence and pull all these businesses, all these functions together to agree, hey, WorkFusion should be our platform. Let's all go that way. It's a little bit hard to corral that. So how do we do that? At the top, we have an HPE Executive Automation Council. This has been operating, I'd say, informally so far. We're going to formalize this a little bit and have kind of the automation champions from the businesses all meet there, all work with our IT function, another global function, to align on standards, decisions, and basically to make sure we're staying aligned and all rowing in the same direction. So we do have that kind of federation up at the top. One thing I'd say here is, quick show of hands, how many of your companies are currently undergoing a big IT transformation of some sort? You're swapping out an ERP, you're putting in a new workforce management tool, you're doing something like that. Okay, about a third or so. We also have a massive IT transformation that we're undergoing, and that's making it pretty tough to get a lot of IT time and attention on this. So that IT support is light touch. We're talking about cybersecurity issues. We're talking about scaling up our virtual machines and our servers and such. That's probably 5 people. So we have a pretty light touch IT support. That takes me to our COE structure. When I say COE, what that means is this is where we're going to put the folks with the Java skills. This is where we're going to train people on ML. This is where the people that are really going to harness some of the more advanced technologies we've been talking about today, they're going to sit there. And for global operations, a function of about 6,000 people, this COE will probably be 12, 15 people or so. So we've got centralized technical skills that can enable some of those more advanced automation cases. And each of the functions will have their own COE that understands finance, that understands HR, that understands the relevant process. Last point I'd share on this operating model view, and where I think our secret sauce has been so far, is in our power user program. We haven't really talked about power users yet today, but this was a concept that WorkFusion brought to us and we adopted. So the real expertise of our processes, the people who know what our partners and our customers are really looking for in terms of a process, are sitting in those functions, in tax, in partner operations, wherever it might be. And these people, we're finding it true, it's been said 3 or 4 times today, they used to write SQL. They used to do macros with VB. They know some development. They know this stuff, and they can make that leap. We believe that they can make that leap to be power users and for sure cover their RPA type use cases and maybe even some of the AML stuff that we've seen today. We've had a cohort of power users trained in our Bangalore center, about 25 folks. That was a couple months ago. And we've got our second cohort of power users being trained in our Guadalajara site just this week. And so they're all very excited about it. The other thing I would say is on the employee piece, if you front load some of the training, if you front load a power user program, that becomes a tangible thing that you can point to and say, look, this isn't about human elimination, this is about human augmentation, and there's your peers being trained on this, getting new skills of the future down the hall. So that's been really a motivator and something our employees have responded really well to. So that's kind of our operating model in a nutshell. Happy to talk more about this, as we have our happy hour later or any time offline. I'll be here tomorrow. We think this is working for us. It gives us the ability to move fast, but to also stay governed and stay on top of this thing.